Hello, I'm Pastor E.B. Shoemaker from the Hollins Road Church of the Brethren, bringing you a short devotional this week. And I just wonder, after Easter, which is where we find ourselves now, sometimes it's a letdown. Sometimes it just seems like, well, where do we go now? Especially in a time like this. There's a lot of uncertainty, and rightfully so. But one of the lectionary texts that we look at this time of year is we look at we look at Thomas. Thomas was considered to be a doubter. We call people by the name Doubting Thomas. Thomas was one of the 12 disciples. He was not mentioned all that much. We find his name only 8 times in the New Testament, and 4 of those times his name was mentioned in a list of disciples. But 4 times it talks about Thomas. On the evening that Jesus first appeared to Mary Magdalene and the other women, he also appeared to the disciples. They were gathered together in the house, it says in John chapter 20, beginning at verse 19. And they were there gathered together, all of them except for Thomas. Thomas was not there, but Jesus appeared to them and he showed them the holes in his hands and feet and his side. But Thomas met with the disciples later, and they didn't believe the news that they had seen Jesus. He said, I won't believe it unless I can put my hands in the holes in his hands, that I can put my hand in his side. I won't believe until then. Well, later, Thomas did see Jesus. Jesus appeared to all of them, and he was overjoyed. And he did say that he believed at that point. Sometimes I think Thomas maybe gets a bad rap because he doubted because he really wanted to know the truth. Thomas was searching for the truth. He had a purpose in mind, you see. But he was probably the first of the disciples that said that he was willing to die for Jesus when they were looking at going to raise Lazarus from the dead. He said he was willing to go with Jesus, even if it meant their death. All the other disciples joined in after him, but Thomas was the first to step out boldly and say he was willing to die for Jesus. He didn't hesitate to follow Jesus. I wonder sometimes in our doubt, if we sometimes hesitate, do we have doubts? Thomas knew there was a cost to following Jesus, but doubt is something that encourages rethinking, thinking things through, making sure of our decisions. I read an explanation of doubt from the Life Application Bible, and this is what it says. It says, doubt is 1 foot lifted, poised to step forward or backward. There's no motion until the foot comes down. How about you? Is that where you are? Are you in that place of doubt? Thomas didn't stay in his doubt. He moved forward. He allowed Jesus to bring him to a belief. But we all struggle with doubt. Even pastors sometimes struggle with doubt. We all have a problem with that, not quite knowing for sure. Maybe you had doubts before you believed in Christ. You had doubts about him. Maybe you have some doubts about Jesus even now. Doubt needs to move to belief. But the only way we get there sometimes is by faith. Making that decision to fully believe. But sometimes that has to come through faith. Jesus said in verse 29 of chapter 20 of John's Gospel that we would be blessed if we believed without seeing. Most of us have never seen Jesus, but we believe anyway, and we believe through faith. But I wonder about you. How about you? Do you truly and fully believe in Jesus? Do you have some doubts about him? Do you have doubts about your health? Maybe doubts about our government, the things it's telling us? Maybe you have some doubts about your finances right now, doubts about your job, maybe some doubts about your marriage or your children, doubts about the economy. We have a lot of doubts and a lot of uncertainty right now. But in order to fully trust in Jesus, we have to place our faith in him. We have to fully trust him with giving him our full faith, our full belief, knowing that Jesus will carry us through this. We don't have to doubt. We don't have to remain there in that doubt forever. People, we can believe in Jesus, trust that He has this, that He has the power to overcome this. He has the power to keep us safe. He has the power to carry us through all that comes our way, because we know that Jesus has overcome all, even death itself. Hope you have a great day. God bless you.